This is going to be an exclusive video, an exclusive opposite gender video. I usually don't make videos like this, chosen ones for you watching. And if you're not chosen, still welcome to my channel, but you may not resonate with this. That's fine. Thanks for being here though. Anyway, this is going to be an exclusive opposite gender video. I'm making this because this has been on my mind for a while, and you don't need to know why, but look. Women look at everything. If you're a guy, all right, especially if you're a chosen man, a chosen guy, they're looking at everything. And what they do is they look at everything about you because they're trying to determine who you are, what you're made of, where you're going, and they're trying to determine your value. And I'm not talking about like your value as in how much money you have. They're trying to talk about like how strong you are, how resilient you are. And so one of the ways that I've found from my personal experience women do this is that they start projecting to try and chip away at confidence and self-esteem. What you're going to find is that women will do this women do it to women too. I understand that, but specifically to men, all right, that they're interested in, or men that they're trying to like get interested, trying to get the guy to come over. They will start projecting, and what they'll do is they'll start like trying to like make him feel self-conscious about himself as a man. Like I'll overhear conversations, okay, for example, like a real man wouldn't do this and that, or a real man would do that, or like my boyfriend doesn't do that, you know what I'm saying? And they're trying to get you to like look over and like, what, and you don't do that because you're complete. You're a whole person. And so here's the thing. Most women aren't ready for a type of guy like you. All right? Specifically talking to the guys right now. Most women aren't ready for a guy like you. And I'm not saying here that you're Mr. Perfect and you're Mr. Have your nose in the air and Mr. Arrogant. You love yourself unconditionally. You put yourself first. You have a relationship with yourself already. You know you're chosen. You know you're meant here for a purpose. You don't beg. You don't run behind women or girls or people in general. And they can't comprehend that. And so when it comes to relationships, women are so used to having guys run behind them. Women are so used to having guys put their worth in the women. All right, for obvious reasons. All right, we all know what I'm talking about. And they're not used to having they're not used to having a interaction with a guy who has a spine. They're not used to having an interaction with a guy that actually loves himself and doesn't want to see himself fail. A lot of men out there, they self-sabotage. They give up. Maybe not literally like giving up on the street, but they give up in terms of like they just throw in the towel. They give up their power. They give up their masculinity. They give up their drive, their ambition, being all they can be. As a man, as we progress as men, we can actually have power to be exactly what we want to be. And it's like a horse, right? A quarter horse, if you don't tame it, it's going to be so fast, right? That's why people tame quarter horses and they put all these like bridles and stuff on them and harnesses and blinders so the horse won't throw the rider off, right? That's men. Men are pretty much like horses, right? Go watch my video I made about Spirit, the movie Spirit. Spirit's a horse. He's a wild Mustang. And his spirit couldn't be broken, right? That's what I'd like to think about right now. Is as men, we're pretty much like that horse. Our spirit can't be broken. And if we push ourselves to a very big limit, we're going to be so like far along, so powerful essentially, that we can't be tamed anymore, because we've gone down we've like, that's what people are afraid of. That's what women are afraid of too. They don't want to be around a man that they can't control. And so as chosen ones, depending on your personality, depending on your personality and when you were born and how old you are and what part of the US or what part of the world you grew up in, your demeanor is going to be, a certain way. You could be really assertive and really unbreakable, or you could be kind of submissive, or you could be, more on the, you could have more feminine qualities, okay? And women, across the board, women want a man that they can not control, but they're able to, like, tame for them. Like, they want to be able to control you, but only they can do it, or they don't want you to run off and be, like, uncontrollable and unbreakable, because that means that you're going to go too far and leave them behind. So when chosen man, when you get around somebody, all right, if you're a chosen male and you get around a woman, she's going to be looking at you like, who the hell is this? Like I just said, he respects himself, he has goals, he's not throwing his body away, he's not throwing his mind away, he's not, participating in bad activities. People can tell, women are very, very intuitive too. Women can tell, right? They can tell these things, and they can pretty much tell right away who they're dealing with just by talking to you, or just by looking at you, and, like, give them a few minutes around you in your presence, guys and gentlemen. They can pretty much tell that, okay, this guy is about that. All right, he's like this. Okay, he's this type of guy, huh? And they're either gonna hate it or love it. And this message isn't about being loved or hated by women. As personally speaking, as a guy here, I couldn't care less. I don't give a, I don't care. But the fact is that when you get around women, they're going to be intimidated by you, because they get your spirit. They kind of get the vibe of what you're about. That's what I'm saying here. Okay? And I don't usually talk about these things, right? I'm not like a dating coach. I'm not a relationship expert. I'm not a psychologist. But in general, all right, this is based on my observation here. This isn't based on, I haven't really studied opposite genders a whole lot. But based on my observation, my interactions, and my experiences, it's really interesting, because, like, I think that for the most part, women are very afraid. Okay, they're very afraid, not just with me. I'm not, maybe sometimes women could be intimidated by me because of, like, how I carry myself or something, but in general, women are very scared. That's why they project. And as a man, your job isn't to walk on eggshells and make sure they feel comfortable and, I don't want you to be scared. No, your job as a man is to actually accept that and sit with the tension. If you walk up to a woman and she's scared, or you can tell she's intimidated, just accept it. I'm a scary person, or I'm intimidating. Like, you're not even trying to be, but that's just how she perceives you. That's it. Who cares, And then don't let that get you down in terms of, like, how you talk with the opposite gender, or how you, like, talk with people in general, or the stuff like that. You're the type of person. I'm talking to both genders now. You're chosen ones. You're the type of people who are complete, and you don't need validation. You don't need validation. You don't need any extra, like, anybody to look at you. You don't need attention. You don't need a big show, because you are it. You are him. You are her. You are the show. You are the main event, and you are the main star of your own life. So the only reason why you would accept somebody in your life is because they complement your life. They add value to your life, right? You're going to give them an opportunity to come into your life. And if they choose not to, that's okay. That's okay, because you never needed them anyway. It was just an invitation. It was an invitation, and they didn't want it. Or it's like a trial run type of thing, right? Like an invitation, just to see if you're actually comfortable with someone like me, because I'm not an easy person, apparently, based on my experiences myself. I think that a lot of women would run if I was relationship material, for example. I don't think I am. I don't think I'm not relationship material, so it wouldn't be fair to a woman anyway. But a lot of women would run anyway because they're not ready for someone like me, is what I'm trying to say. And same with you, chosen one. Whether you're a man or a woman now, I'm talking to both. They're not ready for someone like you because their whole life they've been raised in a trauma loop, a trauma cycle that basically tells them you need a man that has this, this, and that proves himself, and that gives you reassurance, and that gives you, forks over his masculinity and forks over all the control, lets you sit in the driver's seat, and doesn't is passive and doesn't care about anything. That's what society has told women nowadays, right? Be your girl boss, girl power, lord, don't let them take over, It's not even about that. Like, men and women are competing, and they don't even have to compete. You just complement each other. You don't compete. That's what I never understood, is why are we all competing out here? And then men, society tells you that you need a woman who looks a certain way, and that, it just checks all these boxes. But the reality is that society's ideal version of women, it's all superficial, right? Most women are caked in makeup anyway, and that's an example. It's all superficial. Like, do you really want a superficial person in your life who's not really going to add value, right? Yeah, they're a person, but they're not going to add value to you. They're just going to make you more stressed out, and they're just going to take from you, probably. And you could be okay with that. That's fine. But do you really need that? You know what I'm saying? Right? There's a difference between someone who won't add value to your life and somebody who will. What I think you want as an ideal, chosen one, is you want somebody who, also, if you're seeing ants everywhere, that could resonate with this message. I'm seeing ants everywhere. But, seeing a lot of ants lately. But, pretty much, you want somebody with depth. You want somebody who's could be or at your level, or is willing to work to get there. And how many, if we're honest, how many of us encounter people who really aren't ready to do that work? How many of us encounter people who we can tell right off the bat, like I said, first 5 minutes of interaction, first 20 seconds of interaction, right? The eye contact, like I talked about. That eye contact you're a very powerful person. Your eye contact has a lot of power. You can look into someone's soul and pretty much tell that, they're this or they're that. You know what I'm saying? So, you can read intentions, what I'm saying. You can read intentions really, really well. And so why would you want to interact with somebody or give somebody a false sense of interest if you know that they're not going to be for you anyway, right? You don't want to explore this with them, okay? They're not going to add value to your life, and they're not going to like the fact. She's not going to like the fact that you respect yourself. She's not going to like the fact that you have things to do, right? And so, this isn't about like trying to be like, oh, I'm better than you because I'm a certain gender, or I'm better than you because I'm doing this, or I'm doing this in the relationship, or I put in the work and you haven't. No. It's like we're all on different levels in our journey, but a lot of these people out here, a lot of normal people, are not on the journey at all. They don't care. They don't know. And you could try and save them, you can try and help them, but you're just wasting your energy at that point, because people aren't interested anymore. People aren't interested in development. They aren't interested in growth, okay? Except going to the gym, okay? That's all people care about, is going to the gym is like their personal growth now, apparently. And they need to realize that everything is spiritual, all right? When you take care of your spirit, everything else follows through. So that's the special exclusive video I'm making about chosen ones, about the opposite gender. Specifically, since I'm a guy, I'm talking from my perspective. It's gonna be like speaking about women. But if you're a woman watching this, by all means, watch the video. Like I'm glad you're here, and yeah. So that's the message. That's the message, guys. As always, stay safe out